Ah, Bethesda, you've done it again. In less than a day, you made an entire community go from squeamish nerds begging for more to wanderers reignited chanting their hype to their loving deity, Todd Howard. There's a lot I could say about the genius of Bethesda and Fallout 4, like how the decision to announce this game only months before its release was a stroke of marketing genius intended to keep the expectations of Fallout 4 from getting too big and to give hyped up nerds everywhere just enough time for their jokes about Todd Howard and their nether regions to get old. I could talk about how the settlement system in Fallout 4 is Skyrim's Hearthfire done right, and I could talk about how freaking amazing all that modular crafting looks. But instead I think I need to address another issue, a mutated elephant in the wasteland if you will. You see, the truth is, up until God Howard introduced Fallout 4 like the wonderful gaming prophet he is, I never bothered with the Fallout games. Any of them. Sure, I owned them, but I never managed to get past the first hour of them without running back to Oblivion. But after witnessing the shining light that is Fallout 4, my quest was clear. Over the past week I've spent my days locked in my room, controller in hand, discovering all the Wasteland has to offer. And having been raised on the Elder Scrolls series, I noticed a few things that I found worth discussing. So without any further ado, here is Fallout, an Elder Scrolls perspective. Unlike the cold, hardened children of the Wasteland, I was raised on swords and magic, assassins and thieves, trolls and ice trolls. I was raised in the wonderful world of Tamriel. I was an Elder Scrolls fanatic. I think that was part of the reason I could never immerse myself into Fallout 3. That game would remind me of Oblivion, and then I'd just get the urge to play that. Oh, but I was missing out. I've since been enlightened by the atomic fires of the Wasteland. I have to say, Fallout and Fallout New Vegas completely deserve all the hype and love they get, but there was one glaring issue growing at the back of my mind. Something that bugged me ever so slightly as I made my way through the capital Wasteland. You see, if any Elder Scrolls fan was asked what they loved most about Oblivion, I can assure you no main story elements would be mentioned. An Elder Scrolls fan looks back fondly on Oblivion and remembers not the main quest, but things like the Dark Brotherhood, and the wondrously creepy vibe that wonderful sanctuary gave off. They remember finally getting to open the gates of the Arcane University and finally getting to meet their hero, the Grey Fox. Many Oblivion fans never bothered with the main story at all. Ever. Because the truth was, Oblivion didn't just have one main quest line, it had 5. Thieves Guild, Mages Guild, Fighters Guild, the Dark Brotherhood, and the main, air quotes, story. In Oblivion, and Skyrim, I never concerned myself with the main story. I was only interested in finding the right organization for my character and doing that story. To my assassin character, the Dark Brotherhood was the main story. To my Robin Hood-like thief, the Thieves Guild was his journey. To my battle mage, his achievements were moving up in the Mages Guild. The guild system in the Elder Scrolls game is what made the Elder Scrolls unique to me. So when I escaped the vault in Fallout 3, I ditched the main quest immediately after arriving in Megaton and began my search for the quest line that fit my character. After completing several quests, including blowing up Megaton, in hopes of finding a string of quests for my character, I realized that these side quests were mostly just one-offs, and after having blown up Megaton for Tenpenny and murdering several roomfuls of ghouls for him, I was a little confused when the quest for Tenpenny Tower ended there. So, I Skyped up my Fallout expert Maverick and asked him, "Hey man, what are some of the cool side quest lines I can do here?" "Well, have you messed with the bomb in Megaton yet?" "Well, yeah, but I'm looking for quest lines, not just one-off side quests, you know, like the main story." "Well, there's the main story." "And?" "The DLC?" "No, I mean something like the Dark Brotherhood. A quest line like that. I've seen some Enclave iBots around. What about them? Can I join the Enclave?" "Well, no. That's part of the main story." "Well, what is there besides that?" "Some pretty cool side quests." "That's it?" "Yeah." Upon hearing this revelation, I was a little bummed, but I kept playing. I scoured the wasteland for unique weapons, I exploded slaver skulls, I finished the main story, and you know what? Fallout 3 is a great game, but I was still bummed. Not because the lack of an Elder Scrolls-style questline system made the game bad, it just would have given me so much more to do with the amazing world Fallout 3 created. I want to be clear, I did not dislike this game because there was no guild-like system. I loved this game. I just wanted more, and that's exactly what the guild system brings. More. Now I know what y'all are gonna say. Fallout New Vegas, right? Fallout New Vegas had a faction system that was great, and I honestly prefer Fallout New Vegas because of it. But it wasn't quite as good, at least in my opinion, as the Elder Scrolls style faction system for a multitude of reasons. But in the spirit of keeping this video under an hour long, I'll sum it up to 2 things and move on. You didn't truly join the factions as much as you allied yourself with them, and these factions tied into the main story whether you wanted them to or not. Now, I've done a whole lot of hyping for this Elder Scrolls style faction system, so allow me to give a few reasons why I'm hoping Bethesda incorporated this type of system in Fallout 4. You see, there's something huge that Elder Scrolls system provides that makes me such a die-hard believer in it. Immersion. Now let's talk about why that is. 1. Your character is the master of his destiny instead of having his destiny predetermined. When you have 5 different storylines to pursue, each better for a certain type of person, you have a lot more to do with your character's story. In Skyrim, I never had to be the Dovahkiin if I didn't want that to be a part of my character. And that's a great thing for character building. Instead of playing the role of a dragonborn badass every Skyrim run, I got to choose not only how my character fought, but also how my character lived. In Fallout 3, no matter how I built my character, I was still the wanderer of the wasteland. That was the destiny my character had. But in Skyrim, I could focus my builds around the destiny I chose for my character. A good example would be if I were to make an evil assassin who wanted nothing more than to kill and get paid for it. Now, it doesn't make much sense for that character to go off on a side quest to save the world from Alduin, but it does make a lot of sense for that character to seek out the Dark Brotherhood and become the listener he was always meant to be. And the best part was these other side quests, like the Dark Brotherhood, never commingled with the main story. My Dark Brotherhood assassin never had to follow the path of the main story if I didn't want him to. Ever. He was not the Dovahkiin built to look like an assassin. He was an assassin and the listener of the Dark Brotherhood. 2. It helps immerse the player in the lore. Spoilers! In Fallout 3 you allied with the Brotherhood of Steel to battle the Enclave. I dealt with these 2 factions more than I did any other part of the Wasteland, but I still knew very little about what to expect when I found a Brotherhood of Steel bunker in New Vegas. Although I had allied myself with them and fought alongside them in Fallout 3, I knew little to nothing about the inner workings of their organization. Yes, I'm sure if I spent hours digging around in terminals, I could have pieced together the lore to get a good idea of the Brotherhood as a whole, but there's a better, funner way to immerse a player in a part of your world. Let them become a part of it. I know what to expect from a member of the Mages Guild because I was a part of it in Oblivion. My character didn't just witness the Mages Guild in action, he lived the life of a member of the Mages Guild, and as a result, I have a much better feel of that organization, and I was much more immersed in the world. When I play Oblivion, or any RPG like it, me, the player, is an outsider to that world no matter what I do. But my character is not. In the most recent Fallout games, your character is an outsider too, and there's nothing you can do about it. You and your character both are outsiders to that world, roaming with nowhere to belong. You can ally yourself with other factions, but you've never become a part of them. And that's fine if you want to play a character like that, but it's nice to have the option not to. Now, I could probably think of more reasons as to why this system is great, but I don't want this video to be an hour long, so we're going to stick with those 2. Those are the 2 biggest reasons I love the system in Elder Scrolls, and those are 2 of the 3 biggest reasons I want them in Fallout 4 so bad. The third being simply, it would be better in Fallout. To prove this, just think about what gives the characters in Fallout their charm. It's that slight insanity in the world, the unhinged characters who are just a little bit nutty but still relevant. It's comedic characters like Yes Man, insane characters like Tenpenny, and factions harboring dark secrets like the White Glove Society that give Fallout its charm. Now look at, arguably, the most memorable faction in Oblivion, the Dark Brotherhood, and you'll find that same thing. That little touch of crazy yet relevant that give the Dark Brotherhood its charm. The Fallout universe is literally filled to the brim with that kind of potential that made the Dark Brotherhood a community favorite. But it's not just crazy either. There's plenty out of this world, yet completely, well, sort of completely, sane factions in the world of Fallout. In Fallout 4, there's plenty of factions that could have entire stories of their own separate away from the main storyline of the game. Building a scientist who only wants to pursue his passions? Join the Institute and make some shiny things. Want to be an evil little shit? Well, the Slavers Guild is for you. Want to be a Robin Hood-esque heroic character? You should probably seek out the Railroad. Want to spend the entire game drooling over your beloved power armor? Well, the Brotherhood doesn't normally let outsiders join, as they think the savages of this new wasteland can't be trusted with old world tech. But the hero from Fallout 4 happens to be from that old world, so there's plenty of logic in them making an exception. There's plenty of material to implement this in Fallout 4, and when it comes down to it, the biggest plus side of this faction joining system is simple: more content. And who's going to complain about more content? Jaded losers, that's who. But we at Dragon Killing Club are not, in fact, jaded losers. No, we are gaming hopefuls, and we are aware that at this point in development, Bethesda has already finished the major parts of the game, and the decision on whether or not to include an Elder Scrolls-style faction system was made years ago. But our fingers are crossed. So here's to hoping they made that choice, and here's to hoping this video inspired some of you viewers to join the discussion. So please, post your thoughts in the comment down below and let's have a discussion. Fallout 4 comes out in less than a month, so all we can end this video with is, see you in the wasteland. Thanks for watching.